Hello and welcome to this episode of I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, where today I'm going to be talking about the tuition cost of colleges has gone up 10 times in the last 50 years. And I'm going to tell you why.
So the big question is this: how are parents like us, who don't have a manual, who are doing the best we can, who feel as though we aren't enough, how are we going to raise healthy, happy children who we are proud of and still keep our sanity in that process? That's the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Ryan Roy, and welcome to I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, a podcast for parents who are being real with themselves.
Hello and welcome back to this episode of I Don't Know Jack About Parenting, where today I am going to be talking about how the college tuition costs have gone up 10 times in the last 50 years, and I'm going to tell you why. So immediately you would think, well, there's inflation, there's other things. The cost of living has gone up 10 times in the last 50 years, and the answer to that is no, it has not gone up that much. College education used to be bare bones. You go to a college campus and you had the necessities. You had dorms, you had classrooms, you had professors, and that's what you needed. I saw a special today on television around this, and having been far removed from college myself and having started off on a college scholarship of which I walked away from for various reasons, decided to put myself through school and started off. Once I left that one school, I just transferred those to the easiest and quickest way to get back into school, which was going to a community college to finish my AA, to which I went off to the University of Florida Atlantic University and got a dual degree in finance and international business, all of which I paid for out of my own pocket while working through school. And I finished in just under 5 years because I had to take 2 semesters off for various reasons. One, it was in the middle of a transfer, right? I left at the end of one semester and couldn't get enrolled in another. And then the other one was I was paying for school and I had broken my collarbone, was unable to work, and I used my tuition money to survive as I was on my own. So I look at some of these things of college tuition going up, and this special highlighted a couple campuses. Not that these campuses are individual campuses. This is what's going on around the country right now. And the one that was really highlighted was LSU. LSU actually has a lazy river in the shape of the LSU letters, surrounded by an entire huge pool which has lifeguards. And this is amenity that the kids pay for with their tuition dollars, right? It's part of their fees for going to LSU. And I thought to myself, once it's built, and let's just say this is a $150,000, $200,000 pool in Lazy River. Let's just say it was $1 million. The upkeep of that pool is not so substantial that every student on the campus needs to pay a fee for it. It's just a cash cow and a moneymaker for the school. That, in addition to football stadiums, in addition to any other amenities that the school needs or feels they need to have in order to draw enrollment to their school, they will do. Also in this special, they went to the library to see what the library was doing. They had carpet from 2 decades ago that hadn't been replaced. The tiles in the floor were chipped where there wasn't carpet or falling apart, and parts of the roof had actually been missing due to a leak that hadn't been replaced. Yet, in a higher education environment, the library is falling apart where the lazy river is state of the art. There is something wrong with our educational system as it's turning into a pure business. And the business of educating our students doesn't seem as though that's what it is entailing. As the news broadcaster that was watching it, somebody did the special, and afterwards they always say, hey, that was a great piece. One guy goes, it's interesting that the library where they should keyword, should be spending most of their time is falling apart and is less attractive than going to the pool and lounging with your friends. Listen, I don't know jack about parenting. I just know this. I know that as I save and put money away for my children to go off to college, if the competing colleges are building pools and stadiums and I'm having to pay for it, I lack in desire for them having to go to school. I personally, and I know this isn't true for everybody, have never utilized my degree financial or career-wise. What I believe education does, or further education does, is teach us. My mother shared this with me when she went. She said, "Listen, Ryan, I want you to look at school this way. You're already a bright kid." She says, "You will learn nothing that you haven't learned already. It's just going to teach you to refine the skills of getting the answers you need in order to succeed in life. They're going to have you do turn papers, and you're going to have to go and find the answers somewhere else. They're going to have you read something. You're going to have to regurgitate it back. You're going to get practice in this so that when you get to the real world and somebody asks you a question, if you don't know the answer, you have the ability to go and research it and find it for them." And in today's day and age with Google and all these other things, you even need less skills necessary. But you'd be surprised at how many people ask the most simple questions to somebody they don't know, but won't ask Siri, Alexa, or Google. And all the answers are right there if you choose to look for them. So I believe school teaches us how to learn more importantly than the degree we're getting, unless of course you're a doctor, lawyer, and something in those fields where a great deal of precision in life and death situations are at hand. To go get a business degree, I think you could learn business in the real world. To go get a plumbing degree, I think you could be an apprentice right next to your dad if he was a plumber. If you need electrical, you could probably follow somebody else. Yes, we want these people to be educated, but it doesn't take or require $150,000 worth of student loan debt to start your life in order to be competent enough to do those trades. So do I want to send my child off to school to learn, or am I sending my child off to have a resort vacation with a lazy river at their campus? What are the choices we have as parents? The choice is to figure out what matters most to you. And your child going off to an amusement park for educational purposes just doesn't seem realistic to me. And the student loan debt in this country, on top of the government debt that we have in this country, is just teaching our children to massively overspend dollars that they don't even have, just like our government. Or we could teach them to be fiscally responsible and choose a college, if that's what they choose to do, that is more financially wise, so that they don't have to start their life, or even yours as a parent who is paying for this, in a way that is not conducive to them being successful out the gate. I don't know jack about parenting, but I am not paying, nor will I allow my kids to pay $100,000 and $150,000 for an education that the only thing it guarantees them is that they'll have a piece of paper to show for it at the end. Because it doesn't guarantee them a job or success in the workforce. We'll see you in the next episode.
Do you want to be the dad you wish you had? If so, go get my free book, Be the Dad You Wish You Had, at BeTheDadYouWishYouHad.com. Inside, you'll find my most effective 40 tips to quickly and easily transform yourself into the ideal dad. Go to BeTheDadYouWishYouHad.com now and get it while it's free.